In the bright light of fame, Fleetwood Mac's otherworldly singer Stevie Nicks struck a chord that went beyond any harmony. Ozzy Osbourne's deepest, darkest secret was revealed in that electrifying moment when she ripped decades of mythology to shreds. After that, everything changed. Imagine a neon-lit club in 1979 Los Angeles, where the whirl of cigarette smoke and mist obscured the face of fate. Like a moonbeam, Stevie Nicks swept across the audience, her voice wild and free. A lightning bolt, Ozzy Osbourne, was hiding behind the bar. Two spirits born of opposing tempests met in a moment of electric stillness as their gazes met. Her soothing accuracy had been refined via moonlit songs. In the wrath of the Sabbath, he erupted in careless anarchy. The world waited breathlessly, unaware of the impending earthquake that their meeting would cause, as the charged heartbeat entwined harmony and chaos. Tensions flared up like flint on steel as their careers rose to superstardom. As Stevie's painstakingly crafted melodies clashed with Ozzy's untamed, impromptu riffs, sacred halls of creation became battle zones. Envision a Muscle Shoals late night. Ozzy, whose uncontrolled energy buzzes like a bee, savagely grins and sweeps aside Stevie's beautiful harmonies as dimmer lights flicker over tangled cables. In a thrilling instant, he demands fresh lyrics and rips her expertly blended vocals apart. As her song's delicate beauty shatteringly falls victim to his capricious whims, her eyes light up with pain and rage. A tempest of broken wood and raw emotion exploded from their feud. A clatter of wrath shattered guitar amplifiers, sending them crashing through rooms. Once mumbled with the intention of working together, the words now shattered into fragments. Through the deserted halls, promises to never perform together again resounded. There was something, though, beneath the rage. When it comes to the more fundamental. A sinister allure that ensnared them in artistic agony. Their artistry was further enriched with each encounter. Unspoken inspiration born from destruction, a paradox. As their historic duet drew near, another power slammed the door in their faces. The intense envy of Sharon Osbourne. Afraid for her own position, Ozzy felt a powerful pull from Stevie that threatened to stifle her imagination. Allegedly, Sharon ruined studio time, changed the location of session reservations, and told Ozzy he shouldn't trust Stevie's motives. A domestic power struggle played out behind the scenes of rock royalty, demonstrating that the real fighting takes place away from the spotlight. I've already stated everything. Everything had been going swimmingly. On top of that, everyone has been great. Plus the amount of work that has gone into it, which is very different from Jimmy Iovine's. No, this was not a civil dispute. It was a full-scale attack on the souls of both parties. A palpable electric tension boiled through the air as the delicate moonlit perfection of Stevie's ballads clashed with Ozzy's tempest of mayhem. Although they made a solemn promise to separate, the wounds from their creative collision remained in the music they created. However, their feud's tempests were not limited to deserted hallways. Under the biggest lights, they burst out in an intense media frenzy as praise and criticism fought tooth and nail over Ozzy's solitary successes. A vicious media storm ensued as a result of Ozzy's solo successes, pitting admiration and vilification against one another. After being captivated by his Sabbath legacy, critics turned their knives into daggers and said he was a relic trapped in his own mythology. News outlets, smelling blood, gorged themselves on each slip-up. Scandalous betrayals ensued as a result of cancelled shows. He was portrayed as a shattered king in slurred interviews, and the paparazzi were there like vultures, waiting to record the public's disintegration. Promoter and manager emotions flared up into a raging inferno behind the velvet ropes. Contracts were torn to shreds in shadowy backrooms as temper tantrums ruptured deals and phone lines cracked with implied threats. When corporate needs clashed with Ozzy's erratic whims. Nobody was safe, not even rock stars. In contrast to Ozzy's raging tantrums, Alice Cooper maintained a poker face. As Lemmy Kilmister's unwavering commitment crumbled in the face of sabotage plots, rumors about their feud spread like wildfire in the music industry, with tales of hotel hallway brawls and midnight ambushes being whispered around whiskey tables. He was venerated as a living legend during the day. While the sun goes down, he lives the life of a celebrity on the run from the very tabloids he courted. Every negative review and news article added fuel to the fire of defiance and hopelessness, which only Ozzy could extinguish. Even though he was written off by the critics, he continued to come back stronger after each brutal confrontation, his battle scars shining like medals from a life lived on the brink. In the opulence of the Osbourne mansion, chaos lurked behind the gates. The golden halls became battlegrounds as drugs and booze tore him away from Sharon. A great spectacle was made of every relapse. Rumors of secret encounters and flings in custody made headlines in tabloids. A glimmer of the man he was before appeared in the dimly lit halls of the hospital. Surely you're familiar with the 1982 bat-biting prank, an iconic event in music history. Few, however, fully comprehend the majesty and terror of that night. The arena and picture were completely darkened. A lone floodlight shone down on Ozzy as he dove for a live bat, sinking his fangs into its leathery wing. It was a bloodbath on stage. Fans let out cries of shock. With a smug grin, the Prince of Darkness saw his prey. One remarkable deed that blended show with cruelty. Years later, when the IRS finally showed up, the real destruction began. Court summonses and icy, ruthless audits wanted $5.3 million in overdue taxes from Ozzy in 1997. Picture him in a cold, clinical courtroom, with harsh fluorescent lights in place of neon fireworks, his sleek stage armor peeled back to expose a man quivering under the crushing burden of financial collapse. As he maneuvered through legal documents rather than song lyrics, reporters surrounded him like vultures. Ozzy was a courageous renegade who could inspire terror and pleading for pity. These two scandals exposed his dichotomy, the first stemming from careless bravado and the second from financial desperation. A man whose worst moments added to the legend that surrounded him, the world watched as he swung between being idol and an outcast. Ozzy may have suffered new wounds and a rekindled desire to regain his reign, but the wing of the bat and the IRS's decision may have shattered others. Ozzy rose unbroken and scarred from the ashes of his deadliest fights. Shadows and light burst onto the global scene on December 12, 2007, their chords lighting up music venues from London to Los Angeles. Picture with 75,000 people crammed into Wembley Stadium, Ozzy's voice pierced the night with a triumphal yell that appeared to outstrip every setback that had preceded it. However, triumph was not without its wounds. The subsequent world tour served as a testing ground. Night after night, through 120 cities in 14 non-stop months, a true test of determination and perseverance. In the neon and steel fires of Tokyo, the unimaginable occurred. Across the universe, the shudder that Ozzy felt as he announced the price of years spent combating demons backstage caused his once booming roar to waver into a frail whisper. His fans let out a gasp as they saw him grip the mic stand, his face betraying a mix of shame and perspiration. In the background, he struggled with obsession and tiredness. Word on the street among vintage amplifier vendors was that Ozzy would return to the studio late at night, chasing flawless takes in a fog of weariness and overdosed painkillers. With each passing day, he appeared thinner and more frail, his eyes emptied out by sleeplessness and introspection. Still, he remained unbreakable. There was an outburst of rebellion at every slip-up on stage. The shadows would not overtake him. Whispers of long-ago feuds arose in the quiet between encores. A casual comment by Tony Iommi regarding trademark rights, a subtle warning of treachery by Alice Cooper, and promoters still stinging from contracts ripped apart in angry outbursts. All of them hung around like specters, a constant reminder that even salvation had its price. With his voice like a battered sword and his resilience like a rallying cry, Ozzy continued on through it all. Coming back from the brink of disaster was more than just a comeback for him. It stood as a monument to a fighter whose worst hours were spent fighting not in front of a jubilant crowd but in the darkness he had cast for himself. As soon as Stevie's confession reverberated across the globe, a wave of shock and bewilderment washed over the digital realm. Envision a plethora of screens going dark in sync as the secrets of Ozzy's unraveling were revealed across different timelines, with each post a thunderclap of revelation. Allies and enemies alike let their guard down, pouring secrets and long-forgotten memories into social media feeds in an effort to draw attention away from Ozzy's control. His closest associates were behind the scenes, frantically preparing for an unexpected attack like generals. While promoters considered the unimaginable, canceling stadium tours, managers met frantically late at night to go over crisis plans. Once proud to wave his name, the brands now dipped their toes in reverse. Their brand names and emblems falling off billboards like rust. However, a multitude of voices erupted in rebellion even as barriers deteriorated. The stories of long silent pals, roadies, session musicians, and survivors of rock's darker sides broke through the mask. Their remarks painted a picture of an environment based on respect and terror, as they spoke of clandestine threats behind the scenes and the buying and selling of allegiances. In the blink of an eye, the fanbase disintegrated. Some held on tenaciously to the past, proudly showing off worn vinyl records and concert wristbands. Some others, once they regained consciousness, began poring over old records in search of treachery hints concealed in the liner notes. Searching for evidence that would back up Stevie's assertions, Midnight Live Streaming analyzed every word and phrase of every interview. The unanswered question hung over everything like a spectral refrain. What secrets did each rock sanctuary hold if the guy responsible for writing so many hymns could conceal such evil? Heavy metal's pulse skipped at that intense moment, and nobody could say for sure if it would resound with victory or fade into remorse. Bama viewed Ozzy Osbourne's life as a tribute to the man who smashed every barrier in his path with his black magic and a tale of unbridled energy and constant upheaval. His legendary voice made its mark on music halls from Birmingham's smoky clubs to arenas adorned with fireworks. His successes are intertwined with his failures, which include biting bats, avoiding billions of dollars, and breaking relationships. Every scandal is a stroke of genius, a work of art that combines charm, charisma, and eos. The legend remains untarnished by Stevie Nicks' revelation tonight. It changes its form. The mark of a legend is not perfection but the hardships they endure and the heights they reach in spite of them. In the midst of both love and fury, Ozzy's legacy shines more true to itself. He is still the Prince of Darkness, a fiery figure whose secrets, previously concealed, now shine through the intricate web of rock and roll.